Hi, my name is Armin. I go by ArminTF on Twitch. I play Succession Ninja. I was the rank 1 Succession Ninja all of last season for Arena of Solare, and I was also the rank 1 overall player for last season of Solare for about 9 weeks straight. When I was starting to play BDO, I was trying to decide what class I wanted to pick, and originally when I saw Ninja, he came off as this kind of fast-paced, glass cannon kind of assassin, has a lot of like aces up his sleeve that he can pull out from and make these big plays. So when it comes to roles in Arena of Solare, there's not really a lot of set roles, but I guess you could kind of classify it into 3 categories. You have pure damage dealers, you have a lot of CC catch classes, and then you kind of have classes that are a bit in between. Ninja is that in between, where he is a DPS dealer, and at the same time, he can make space for his team and get those kind of key catches that can lead to winning rounds. So he's a bit of a hybrid. In return for being kind of able to do a bit of both, Ninja has a bit of weakness when it comes to the protection end. While a lot of classes in Arena of Solare in the current meta have a lot of protected CCs or AoE CCs that they can kind of rely on to get pulls and catches, Ninja relies a bit more on quick movement, evading around their opponents, and getting sneaky grabs off while playing super dangerous with their protection reel. The kind of situation that Ninja might excel in is a situation where he's 1vxing, one of the best 1vx classes in the game. It could be a 1v2 or a 1v3, and as long as the Ninja has access to his E-buff, which is one of the highest damage E-buffs in the game, he can still potentially pull out a win and clutch it out for his team. A lot of people upplay stealth and say like, oh, it's so OP and all that, but a lot of ninjas and kunos don't tend to know how to use it. Make sure that you understand, if your opponent does not see you enter the stealth, they don't know you're in stealth. You kind of disappear from their state of mind because they don't see you and they never saw you enter in the first place. When my opponent ends up V'ing away from me after I get a CC, I can then instantly go into stealth and try to predict where they're going to be coming out of V. And this way, when your opponent is in V and they don't see where you are, they don't know where to go to avoid you. So they might be coming out right on top of you, and it's the perfect opportunity for you to use your stealth to punish.
I got caster. Dead.
Stealth is incredibly good at just instantly saving you. A lot of classes, they're going to have to use their iframes, their stamina, and they're going to have to just keep on running while being at 1 HP, and they're going to get chipped out over time. A ninja can simply start that running dash, and then they're in stealth, out of the fight, no one knows where they went. Now, there's a lot of classes that can predict where you went with massive AoE skills and kind of skills that punish, but usually this will buy you enough time to get some good distance and heal up without being kind of under pressure. I really don't see any ninjas do, even at a lot of the top end, is moving around mosh pits. And what I kind of mean by this is that when you're fighting in Arena of Solare, there's going to be typically some kind of like big scuffle that ends up happening where people are piled up really hard. And a lot of ninjas, instead of moving around the fight and damaging the players in the mosh pit, like from the outside, they'll tend to join in on the inside. And I think that's a really big mistake. The more you can kind of move around a fight and chip, poke, and toss your skills where you can fit the gaps, the more protected you'll be, and the easier time you're going to have getting damage pressure off and also keeping your eyes open to react to what's coming next, compared to players stuck in the middle that are kind of just throwing their skills out willy-nilly, hoping to win out the damage trade. When it comes to Solar, anything that can kind of make space for Ninja or buff him so he does more damage himself is usually the kind of classes I want to play with. Classes that can make space like Striker, Succession Zerker, or maybe even a Warrior. Those are classes that can engage and let the Ninja focus more on being a DPS class Whereas classes such as Caster, Shy, or even Valkyrie, classes that give accuracy buffs, attack speed buffs, or just general BSR buffs so you can do more damage, these are all really good classes to kind of combine with Suck Ninja and make him shine. Any class that kind of has high CC spam or heavy slows tend to dump on Ninja really hard. So Shy is also extremely hard for Ninja to fight due to bongos. Succession Nova is extremely hard for Ninja to fight due to the automatic CC and stiffen spam. The other two classes that are really hard for him to fight are Sork and Succession Dark Knight, because classes that don't have a lot of gaps and are super iframe SA heavy don't really give Ninja an opportunity to get a catch. Suck Ninja probably has one of, if not the highest skill ceiling in BDO's PvP. When it comes to picking up the class, don't get overwhelmed by the kind of diversity and all the options you have available to you. As for when it comes to Solare, at the end of the day, while you may be able to play as an engaged class as Suck Ninja, you're still a DPS. If you want to gain elo as a Ninja player, my biggest advice and my #1 recommendation is let your teammates go in first.